You're standing at the sink with a spoon in your hand. The cat is parked a few feet away like it pays rent. And somebody says, almost casually, there's a parasite that can affect behavior. Your brain does what brains do. It jumps straight to the weirdest version first. And then the real question shows up. What if that's not just a creepy rumor? That parasite is Toxoplasma gondii. People usually pick it up from cat feces, contaminated soil or water, or undercooked meat. And once it's in, it can hang around for a long time. In healthy adults, most infections don't cause obvious symptoms. Convenient for the parasite, mildly annoying for the rest of us. So the story gets its grip from one idea. Could something that tiny and that common quietly change how we act? In animals, the answer is yes, and in a pretty unsettling way. Infected rodents lose some of their fear of cat odor and take more risks. That part is not internet folklore. It's been shown in lab studies again and again. That is the bit that makes people sit up. But humans are not rodents, and the human evidence just does not match the dramatic version people love to repeat. One large New Zealand cohort found no robust link between T. gondii seropositivity and major psychiatric disorders, impulse control problems, neurocognitive deficits, or personality changes. Other studies have reported small associations with things like risk-taking, reaction time, or novelty seeking, but the signal is inconsistent and easy to muddy with everything else that shapes a human life. And that's the tension I care about. The parasite clearly has biology on its side. It can form cysts in the brain. It appears able to affect dopamine and GABA signaling. It can drive inflammation. It may even nudge gene regulation in ways that matter for fear and mood. So when you hear the mechanism, your reaction is probably, okay, that sounds plausible. And then the actual human data walks into the room and says, not so fast. The loud version, "Parasite made me do it," is a great headline and a bad summary of the science. What we actually have is something smaller and messier. Strong behavioral effects in animals. Plausible pathways in the brain. Mixed, subtle, hard to replicate findings in humans. That's the real shape of the evidence. And honestly, that gap is the most interesting part. Not because it's disappointing, because it's a reminder that biology can be real without being dramatic. A mechanism can be genuine and still not explain much at the level of everyday human behavior. That distinction matters because it's where good science keeps us from turning a true thing into a cartoon. If you've ever cleaned a litter box and thought, I hate that this is part of my life, this whole topic probably lands a little closer than you'd like. And if you're pregnant or immunocompromised, it lands even harder, because this parasite is not just a curiosity there. Congenital infection and reactivation in vulnerable people can be severe, including eye damage, neurologic disease, and other serious complications. That's the edge of the story, where the stakes are real. So I keep coming back to one simple line. The rumor is bigger than the evidence, not because there's nothing there, but because the actual findings are more careful, more limited, and more interesting than the myth. In rodents, the parasite's behavioral trick is striking. In humans, the effects look small, context-dependent, and overshadowed by genetics, environment, health, and plain old life. That's what I'd want you to remember the next time somebody says a cat parasite is secretly running the show. The truth is less cinematic and more credible. Biology can leave fingerprints. It does not always leave fingerprints you can see from across the room. And that, to me, is the part worth talking about.